The first fight against NEET paper leak has been won. Dharmendra Pradhan has resigned. The families of the 21 student lives lost have finally seen some justice. But are you aware? Where did it all start? Not 2024 when the paper leaked, not even 2026 when the leak sparked such outrage, it shook the system. The first NEET tragedy happened in 2017, and 9 years later, with the NEET paper leak in spotlight, the forgotten story should gain attention again. Long before lakhs of students marched towards the parliament demanding accountability for the leak, one student from Tamil Nadu had challenged the very idea of the exam. You may have noticed these ban NEET posters across the Jantar Mantar protest site. But why did a movement that began over a paper leak eventually grow into a larger demand to abolish the exam itself? Consider this. A meritorious student scoring 98% in the state board scores 39 out of 720 in NEET, while another student who scores 89% in CBSE scores 393 in NEET. Where did things go wrong? Something similar happened with Anita, the daughter of a Dalit daily wage labourer from Tamil Nadu who had scored 1176 out of 1200 in the Tamil Nadu State Board Class 12 exams. The result had all but guaranteed a spot in a state medical college and given wings to the dream of Dr. Anita. Unfortunately, by that time, the national entrance test was in place, and Anita scored just 86 out of 720 in NEET, far below the qualifying mark of 196.8. The meritorious student even knocked on the doors of the Supreme Court, challenging what she believed was an unfair system, only to leave disappointed. Anita's dreams of becoming a doctor had been shattered. On September 1, 2017, the 17-year-old was found hanging at her home in Kuzhumur village. Even Rajnikant had spoken up. While hundreds of students were fighting the exam leak in national capital, these dramatic scenes unfolded in Chennai, where several student-led organizations staged a massive protest demanding a complete ban on NEET, and Anita's name returned to the conversation.
இந்த மாதிரி தொடர்ச்சியாக ஒரு முறைகேடுகளோட மொத்த உருவமாக இருந்துச்சு. அதை பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்தியா மாதிரியான மிகப்பெரிய நாட்டில் 25 லட்சம் மாணவர்கள் எழுதுகிற தேர்வில் ஒரு சின்ன தவறு நடந்தால் கூட 25 லட்சம் மாணவர்கள் பாதிக்கப்படுறாங்க. ஸோ அதனால தான் நம்ம சொல்கிறோம், இந்த எஜுகேஷனை பார்த்தீங்கன்னா டீசென்ட்ரலைஸ்டு பண்ணணும், இதை பொதுப்பட்டியலிருந்து மாநில பட்டியலுக்கு மாற்றணும். அப்போ தான் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அந்தந்த மாநிலங்கள் அந்தந்த மாநில மாணவர்களுக்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி அவர்களுடைய அட்மிஷன் நடைமுறையாக பண்ணுவாங்க. அப்போ தான் அது கரெக்டாக இருக்கும். இன்னமும் இது ஒரு ஆரம்பம் தான். இப்போ கிடைச்சிருக்க இந்த வெற்றிங்கிறது நீட் விலக்கு நோக்கி கண்டிப்பாக இந்த போராட்டம் தொடரும். தமிழ்நாட்டில் தொடர்ந்துக்கிட்டு தான் இருக்குது.
NEET changed who entered medical colleges in Tamil Nadu. Look at this graph. State board students lost around 500 MBBS seats on average after NEET, while CBSE admissions skyrocketed from about 10 seats to over 1100 seats. Government school students almost disappeared from MBBS admissions until the Tamil Nadu government under Jayalalitha introduced the 7.5 reservation, which significantly improved their representation. The demand to abolish NEET in Tamil Nadu has echoed for years, driven by students, political parties, and civil society alike. One of the strongest pieces of evidence cited by opponents is the Justice A.K. Rajan Committee report. The committee analyzed medical admissions before and after NEET and found a dramatic shift in who entered medical colleges. In 2021, the Tamil Nadu Assembly passed a bill to exempt the state from NEET and bring back Class 12-based admissions. But the bill never got approval. It was first held back by then Governor R.N. Ravi, until in 2025, when the President declined to give assent, the Tamil Nadu government took the matter to the Supreme Court.
Sir, education is not only on the union list. Education is the state list. Sir, when it's a concurrent list. Sir, you need the states when states are opposing. When DMK and the people of Tamil Nadu are saying we don't want NEET. Why are you not listening to us?
Yes.
Why is that adamancy? Because you brought something? Sir, we are not outside the country. We are Indians. We are not anti-Indians. We are anti-nationals. We feel that, sir, you are making a mistake.
I want to remind the house of the bright young girl, yes, Anita from Tamil Nadu, who died in 2017. Anita hailed from a small remote village. She was a very brilliant student and coming from a Dalit community who had secured 1,176 out of 1,200 marks in her board examinations. Anita did not have the capital to go to Premier Coaching Institute and so could not meet the cut-off need. Eventually, she committed suicide. But I refuse to call this as a suicide. What happened to Anita was an institutional murder. It was the result of a broken system that is designed to push the already marginalized further towards the margins. She is not the only one. At least 18 students have committed suicide due to NEET in my state.
The fight between Centre and Tamil Nadu over NEET has been a prolonged battle. Be it the DMK, the AIADMK, or now Vijay's government, every administration has opposed NEET, arguing that it puts rural, poor, and non-Hindi speaking students at a disadvantage. And now, with the paper leak reigniting the debate, Tamil Nadu has once again stepped up its demand to scrap the exam.
Now increasing the fine and imprisonment will not resolve the issue. So DMK's stand is one thing very, very clear: abolish NEET. NEET must be totally abolished, and then only it will come to a solution.
When Modi government came to power in 2016, they brought an amendment, section 10D, and they introduced this NEET again. And from 2017 onwards, because 1 year exemption was given, Tamil Nadu has been fighting against this NEET. In fact, the previous ADMK government brought one legislation, and that legislation, the assent was not given by the president. When DMK came to power, our former Chief Minister, Mr. M.K. Stalin, he introduced a bill to dispense with NEET. The governor sat over the bill for about a year, and thereafter it was forwarded to the president, and the president withheld the assent, against which the Tamil Nadu government has moved the Supreme Court challenging the withholding of granting of assent. So that is the pathway we can say we were fighting against NEET.
DMK Rajya Sabha MP P. Wilson recently introduced a private members' bill seeking to abolish NEET for medical and dental admissions or allow states to opt out of NEET for state quota seats. Stalin's party also moved a notice in the parliament demanding a complete ban on the NEET examination.
DMK has given notice demanding total ban on NEET examination.
It is not just Tamil Nadu. While other states have been far more reserved, the issues remain. State boards versus the Central Board of Secondary Education is a long-running battle. For those arguing about level playing fields, answer this. Is there any equality between a poor state board student and a private coaching student paying lakhs in quota? Can you really call it equal if a daily wage sewage worker's child and a banker's child give the same exam? Before NEET, there was AIPMT, the All India Pre-Medical Test. But here's the key difference. AIPMT was meant only for the 15% All India quota seats. The states back then were free to conduct their own entrance exams or follow their own admission policies for the remaining seats. Tamil Nadu, for instance, admitted medical students based on class 12th marks. That changed in 2017. NEET replaced AIPMT and became the single gateway to almost every medical college in the country. And it's not just NEET. The same debate has often surrounded JEE as well, the exam for engineering entrance. However, JEE did not replace state engineering entrance exams in the same sweeping way that NEET replaced state medical admission systems. Many states continue to conduct their own engineering entrance tests, such as MHT-CET in Maharashtra, WBJEE in West Bengal, KCET in Karnataka, among others. Be it NEET or engineering entrance exams, state board students have long argued that these papers are more closely aligned with the CBSE curriculum and often favor those who have access to expensive coaching institutes, putting many others to a disadvantage. While a lot of data reflects how almost every topper of a national entrance test belongs to a particular coaching institute, charging lakhs of fees from students, do the examination bodies need to rethink whether these exams truly provide a level playing field for students from every economic background? That's all from my side. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anushka Singh signing off from Times Now Digital.
Thank you.